Yeah, welcome to the student-led panel discussion. So the panel today is about sustainable food practices in North Iceland. And I have here with me three incredible women who were able to participate in it with us. So we have Elínborg Erla, Þórunn, Edda, and Hrönn. So I'm going to ask you guys some questions and you will just have a mic. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how and why did you start your project? And maybe if you could describe your project in like a few words. So Elínborg, if you just start. And you will talk in this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Svona bara.
Yeah.
So I run an organic vegetable farm in Skagafjörður, North Iceland. And I also, it's a small scale rather, and I sell basically mostly locally. But I also try to figure out ways to use my harvest the best I can. So I'm also making products from it, like chutneys and jams, flavored salts and such, focusing on using what would count as second-grade vegetables, if that's a thing. So yeah, just trying to use it all instead of parts of it going to waste. I started this project, well, because I just wanted to be a vegetable farmer. And I also found that I wanted to grow organic. So growing is both a job and it's also a hobby. So, and also just trying to find out what are the best ways to grow organically in the north. That's become a kind of a hobby. Yeah. Just part of growing is also like using your products. It's a food and you don't want it to go to waste. So just finding ways to use it the best I can.
So, yeah. So, Hrönn?
So my name is Hrönn. I'm a project manager at the municipal library in Akureyri. And last year we set up a fridge, which is a free fridge. So basically it's a community fridge where everyone can leave food and everyone can take food. So basically it's about sharing what you're not going to use. And this is now one of many such fridges in Iceland. There was one in Andrými. That was the first one 2 years ago. But yes, I think this is the second one in Akureyri. So.
My name is Edda and I run Ketilkaffi, which is a cafe located in the Art Museum of Akureyri. I think our business is maybe a little bit less obviously environmentally sustainable. We don't advertise it a lot, what we do, but from the beginning, the thought has always been to try to minimize food waste, like from the start when we started putting up our menu. And so everything we do and also adding this vegan option is obviously like we're heading to a more environmentally sustainable, like we're trying with our business, but the restaurant industry is quite, there's a lot of food waste. It's quite hard. We are taking some, some of our own methods to try to do it as best as we can. And we were actually really glad to be asked to be here because we do a lot of stuff, but we didn't realize people knew about it. So, and that was also a little bit of awakening for me to maybe I should tell people more about this, because this is something that people think about. But yeah, we opened this place 2 years ago and we just did it because we just love food and wanted to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Great. So our next question to you is, and why did you choose the choose the sustainable option?
Well, we know everything we do has an impact on our environment, but in organic production, we try to keep that impact as small as possible. And you're always trying to work with nature and what we have. Also, in organic growing, we are focusing on the soil and we're focusing on creating healthy conditions for plants to grow, preventing diseases and lack of nutrients instead of always treating them. And you want to leave the soil healthier than it was before you started. One part of this is instead of using like imported chemical fertilizers, you're using organic materials. And you try to get them as close to the farm as you can, because you need to feed the soil, you need to feed the soil organisms. And also those organic materials, they're even considered waste. It's a problem. So you can basically turn this waste into something you use to grow food. So yeah, what was a problem becomes a solution. And in this, you respect nutrients. Nutrients are valuable and they should be treated with respect. And that goes both for what you use as fertilizer and also what you have grown, the food, you don't want it to go to waste. You want to use it the best that you can and use everything, even though it's something like leaves of broccoli or cauliflower or something that usually is just cut up and thrown away. So basically, yeah. This circulation of nutrients and trying to, just respect nature and what you have. That is it, I think.
Yes, like we as a society throw away a tremendous amount of food, as we all know. And I mean, the public library, it's a place where we have, on average, I think 300 or 400 visitors a day. So it is actually a very good spot for a community fridge. And actually, Serena, that's here today, she was the one that told me about the fridge originally. I had never heard about this concept before. So she was like, yes, wouldn't this be a perfect spot? And of course it is. And I mean, it's been used a lot. A lot more people than we anticipated are using the fridge. So yeah, I think that's like places where we have a lot of circulation of people are perfect spots for sharing stuff like this.
I mean, our reasons to be more environmentally sustainable are obviously also of the financial kind. We run a business and we need products that are good quality, will last us long, which is the case with a lot of the organic vegetables we use. And also, I mean, why would you buy a lot of food and then just throw it away? So I think it's pretty obvious and straightforward. So this is just the line we took from the beginning to like minimize food waste and use, and it's also cheaper for us to get like good products from that is locally sourced than to like ship it all the way from somewhere. So I'm not gonna, I mean, this is not everything. I mean, obviously this is about the environment, but it's also financial issue for us, So, and it's a win-win situation. So why would you do it any other way? It's like our mentality.
Yeah. So the last question is, what are your main challenges in your work, especially with like about the sustainability?
Of course, growing organically. It's obviously the weather. But it can also be things like getting fertilizers that you need, getting certified organic seeds and supplies. And there goes more work into things like weed management and pest control and such. So you have to rely on your customers, respecting that, and they have to be ready to pay a little more for it also. Maybe if they figure out it keeps better or is, so that is something you need. And also when you are, there's a process in making the products that I'm like that. If you're making a chutney, it has to taste good. It also has to be safe. It has to be shelf-stable. You're trying to use second-class produce, so you have to be extra careful with it. You know, it has to be good still. Yeah, maybe of course financial things, but yeah, basically it's worth it though.
So, like I said before, the fridge has actually been, it's been a lot better than we anticipated, because at first we thought, will people actually use it? Is it maybe a taboo to come and get free food? Will people think this is just like a charity and will pay? So, but it turns out, like at the beginning, people were a bit shy to come and get food from the fridge, and we would see that people would come in the evening when the library had closed. But now that has changed, and people are coming just all through the day. So I think it's just like the mindset is changing. So I mean, of course, it's an advantage that or a benefit that people that don't have much income can use it as well. But that's not the main point. The point is that we are trying to use something that would be thrown away. So yeah, I think we thought that this would be more of a challenge than it actually is. And like cleaning the fridge and stuff like that, we have, like, there are some people that have just like, they've owned the fridge. So like they clean it, they bring food. There's this one lady that every Sunday she brings the rest of her Sunday meal to the fridge. And it's a beautiful concept. So they're creating a closure society. And yeah, I think it's turned out a lot better than what we expected.
There are actually quite many challenges. For the first, we have a tiny kitchen. It's very small, and we have very little storage. But even though we are a small cafe, we don't have a huge menu. We have like between 20 and 30 options on our normal menu, plus the vegan dish of every day. But what we did from the beginning was to try to incorporate like a lot of the same ingredients in a lot of the dishes. We just cook it differently. I mean, we make everything from scratch. So that's also something that's that we can do that because we have just the basic ingredients. So if you look at our menu, you see the same ingredients running through it, but it's just like different versions of it, and it's put together in different ways. So that's something you can do, and that also, I mean, that minimizes food waste. We also don't, if you were gonna like make like a huge bunch of sandwiches before in the morning each day, and you don't know how many customers you'll have, that's also a challenge for us because we never know how many customers we will have. It's very unpredictable. Some like normal Monday could be super busy, and like the next week it's, you know, almost no one, you know. It's so that's a little bit difficult. So we try to we make things to order. So even though it's just the sandwich, we don't have it pre-made. We go in and we make it, you know. So then at the end of the day, we don't sit there with a bunch of like uneaten food that we have to throw in the trash. We also try to pick just like really good quality of the basic products we use, and like recipe testing, we see how long it lasts. Will it last? If it lasts only for one day, we're lucky. We're not gonna use this because it's quite difficult. I think a lot of people in the restaurant industry here experience the same thing, that it's like super unpredictable of how many people are going to come in each day. I mean, it's different in the summertime and it's like always busy, but yeah. The other challenge is also like where to get this, like the good produce from. And we have been like so lucky to been working with Jonathan from Österlands Food Co. Since the summer we started. So we get a lot of vegetables and, or like majority of our vegetables and fruits come from them. And that's like, that sails here with the ship. It's not flown, like it doesn't leave behind a huge CO2 emission, but you know, we live in the north of Iceland. The food needs to travel here. If we want to offer someone a banana, we cannot grow it in our backyard. So we've been trying to find ways to get our products to us in the most sustainable way. And we're really lucky to be working with them, Österlands Food Co. And also Urban Farm. This is like the best greens you can get. It's so crazy to go to the store and buy some cilantro and you see country of origin is Kenya. And you're like, okay, yeah, this is not so good. But when I can walk just down the street and get super fresh cilantro or parsley or whatever, and it will last so much longer too. So yeah, the challenges are many, but it's also the challenge is to have everybody, all the staff like trained to be able to do all of this. Since we do everything from scratch, it would be much easier for us to get just frozen cakes from a big vendor, but we choose not to do it. It's also because of quality, you know, but yeah. I'm probably forgetting something. There are always challenges. It's nothing but challenges, you know. But yeah.
Great. So this was the last question that I had planned. So I'm just going to open for discussion. So if anyone here has questions to them, you can just.
I can start. Okay, well, I didn't actually prepare a question, but I find it very fascinating what you're doing. I was actually, when I was driving here from Reykjavik this week, I was